So we were actually paid on a Sunday. We got the confirmation on a Sunday afternoon. We got our money on Monday so that we can pay rent. And in financial markets, if you don't meet your obligation, it's a significant issue. So I think looking at how people are invested in the brands that they are in goes a long way in knowing that these people, they cannot afford to not do the right thing, because then they are financially actually, if Cytonn does not work, then it's a financial ruin for all, especially the people who started. So I think alignment is key, and just making sure that we try to be as transparent as possible, just telling you this is where your money is going, this is how it's going to be used. So I think that is just one of the ways, just being ready to answer any questions that the clients have. So I think that's how you look at the companies that you invest in and say, can I work and can I trust these people? Thank you.
It's now afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone is having a good time. And thank you for those who are streaming into our Facebook and taking time to connect with us. It's amazing the power that social media has, that even those who are unable to come are still able to log in where they are. So Kevin, we really appreciate your question. It was, where can one find the prices of all 10 of our real estate projects? It's very simple. You can get onto our website. It's cytonn.com. You can go onto cytonn.com/real estate. The easiest way to do it is to just get into your email. Email us at resales@cytonn.com, where any one of our real estate financial advisors will be able to pick it up and answer your question. And then come into the office. Let us explain to you, or let us come to you, explain to you our real estate projects, what we are doing, and how we can work together. So for those who are on social media, we really look forward to receiving a couple of more of your questions. Thank you.
Thanks, team. You see the power of our team. All I have to do is take questions and everyone else takes answers. But
a distraction, and probably an effort to diminish the confidence and the trust of the investors. But I think we should be courageous enough to ignore most of these distractions. I've seen even there's some, unscrupulous bloggers. I think they're paid. Once in a while, you see them pop up in the blogosphere. if that's what it's called. And they cannot even hide their mercenary attitude, you know. It's so obvious that they have been paid by somebody to write that. They don't have facts to back up what they are saying. So I think it is, you know, in most of these cases, best to ignore some of those, some of that noise out there, so that we can concentrate on our core aim of investing in what we are investing in Cytonn. And for all practical purposes, I think Cytonn is doing very well. Soon after I saw such a blog by that mercenary character. I visited the Alma. There was an open day. Though I did not stay the whole day, but I was very impressed by what I saw. I mean, it is such a perfect. I was taken to one of the rooms, one of the showrooms. It was magnificent. And the project is so huge, so vast, and it is done so professionally that I have no doubt that it will be handed over to the investors in the near future. And I'm in fact planning to invest in the Alma in the near future.
Thank you, Mr. Kinothia.
But finally, I would like to just to mention that it would appear to me that this particular project is slightly behind schedule.
The Ridge, you mean?
Yeah, the Ridge. I don't know, but that is, you know, probably you'd be able to enlighten us on this. If it is indeed behind schedule, what is planned to bridge the gap, the time gap between the time that you expect the completion and maybe that gap in the delay, or maybe the time span. Maybe we could get a briefing on that. Otherwise, I'm very thankful, and we wish the team, Edwin and the team, all the best. And once they win the case against their former employer, I would like to team up with my old friend and colleague, Mr. Oraro, to pursue their former employer for several billion shillings in damages. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't think we can get such a free, sound legal advice. Thank you so much, Mr. Kinothia. Thank you for your kind words. Next question, we'll take the question about the Ridge.
Hello. I had.
If you can introduce yourself, sir.
Can you hear? Or my name?
Yes.
Is John Kirai.
Yes.
Is that okay?
That is perfect.
Now
We like to know you.
A diaspora being mentioned,
Yes.
you know, and I know these people are really deceived. Investing here, you send money, you never see a house. But I think we should, I don't know how you'll encourage them so that they can bring money from where they are.
This is the diaspora, you mean?
Diaspora, yes.
Oh, yes. So his challenge to us is to maybe what Liz had alluded to earlier, how we can convince and our brothers, because they are our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, to bring their money back home. Thank you so much, Mr. Kirai. Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
My name is Otieno Lucas, and I'm in this CHYS. So my question is, for somebody who is not maybe playing in the millions level, then the hundreds level, but they would like to lock in their money beyond the annual so that they can get more interest, not 18, or they are ready to take the risk so that they play in the league of 20% and beyond. Yeah, is that a possibility?
So asking us about the minimum investment, if it's below $1 million, can you play within Cytonn project notes, the real estate project notes which give above 20%? Yes, we'll respond to that. Any final question? Then we can take the... Yay!
Dear, at last, eh?
Okay.
My name is Jenny Mule, and my question was, and it's building
If we could have you hold your mic closer so that you can hear you clearly.
My name is Jenny Mule, and I want to write on what the young man was saying. Dande mentioned and convinced us that the Cytonn strategy of borrowing from us as opposed to going to the bank is a good idea. But no sooner had he said that than he said, now you need to go back to the banks and borrow from the banks. So I was just wondering, why don't you come back to us, offer us maybe 25% or 30%, and we continue this good relationship.
Oh, wow. Kazi kwetu. You see why I tell you ladies are deep thinkers? They throw one on the side. Yeah. I think we have 3. Okay. Sorry, Mr. Mbogwa, if we could just take those ones, and then we'll come back to you.
Hi, Mr. Mvugo. We'll open the last round. We already had 4, so sometimes the answers start disappearing. Starting with Rumba Kinuthia's comment and question about the ridge, I believe Elizabeth will. Who's taking the ridge? Or Pankaj will take the ridge. And thanks for your comment on the Alma. I remember sometime in October 2017, there was a blog about the Alma is crumbling. And then you really have to convince people that, no, this is again another tactic to shake your trust and confidence. The Alma is not crumbling. It's actually the best development in Ruaka. So Pankaj will take that question. The question by Mr. Kirare about diaspora, what can we do to convince them to invest? It's again trust and confidence question. I think I'll give it to you, Patricia. Patricia was one of those who we did a roadshow with around 4 years ago to try and convince the diaspora. Yes, they've been supportive. I think we've gotten around 1 billion shillings of investment from the diaspora. But this issue of trust and confidence, we have to address. Then there's a question from Otieno Lucas around CPN. I'll give it to Maurice, who looks after both CPN and CMS around the level of investments. I'll take the question from, from Jerry around banks. Now, Jerry, it seems contradictory, but it's not. Remember, we borrow from you, and we give you flexibility, especially on HYS. On CPN, you have to be there for the period of investment because let's say you give us 1 million, we agree on 3 years. We actually commit that 1 million to a project like the Ridge, so you can't come and say, I want it back. But on HYS, you can come at any particular time and say, I want the money. So we know how the portfolio behaves, and we keep a certain amount of liquidity to pay you off if you come for your money early. The reason why we have to diversify our sources of funding, when I get a bank loan, we have a very specified term, 3, 4, 5 years bank loan. The bank cannot come and say, pay early. So the reason why we have that, we need to have that diversity of funding is, remember we have, in most cases, a landowner. The land is already committed to the JV. They can't take it out. We have the CPN. It's already committed to the development. They can't take it out. HYS is, has a lot of refinancing risk. When it matures, you might actually say, I don't want to roll over. So it would be unwise for us to finance our development only through HYS. We also need diversity of funding, and that is why we also need bank funding. That's why we also have the 5 billion shillings from Taleri, and that is part of the reason why we are also going to be raising equity in IPO. When you're doing developments, you need very diversified sources of funding. I don't know if Jerry had any other comment. Okay, I think that answers it. I'll now turn it over. Who goes first? Pankaj.
This with respect to Kinothia's REACH schedules. I will assure you, REACH is already on schedules. You will not find any activities on about the grounds, because from last 1 year, we are doing the undergrounds work. Like Liz has explained us in the opening remarks, piling works. Now, all 3 blocks out of the 4 blocks, we have already completed the piling. You can see now about the works. No progress will be there. And main contractor is already on site from May 2018. They are rigorously doing the work, and we are on schedules. That's I'm assuring you. Thank you.
I'll answer the question from Lucas Otieno, who asked about if you can't be able to invest £1 million shillings at once, what processes are there to ensure that at least you continue investing? What we usually do, we categorize CHYS investors into 2. If you have below £500,000 Kenya shillings, you can get up to 15% per annum. But once you top up and the total value of investment is less from £500,000, now you can move and start getting 18% per annum. Also, once you top up again now to reach £1 million, now you can now move your investment from CHYS to CPN and now start getting 20% per annum for 3 years. And we also have other investment alternatives that are there in place that even if you can't even be able to invest 10,000 at a go, you can do Seriani Money Market Fund. Minimum investment is 5,000 Kenya shillings. Current yields about 11.7%. Once you top up, you get, let's say, 200,000. You can now say, move me now to CHYS. You get 15% per annum. Once you get to £500,000, now you can say, move me now to 18% per annum. If again now you get to £1 million, now you can say, now move me to CPN, where I'll be getting 20% per annum. I hope it's clear.
Thank you, Maurice and Edwin. In terms of the question about the diaspora, one of the people I was smiling very hard was Pauline Nganga. Maybe someone can get the mic to her. Pauline, if you could have your hand up. So Pauline is a great example of a very great diaspora supporter. And that's for Mr. Krai. We did 2 roadshows in the US because that is the market we started with in 2015 and 2016. And 2016 is when we met Pauline, and she was a really great supporter there in LA, Los Angeles. And for the diaspora, Pauline can obviously speak better on it, but there are issues with investing back home, as was asked earlier, was trust. Can they trust that you will deliver? Because they have sent their money to investment partners before and they've not delivered. So our view was, yes, you can trust us. We have an office out in the US, that's the Washington, DC area. And if you have a problem with us, at least you'll find our representative in the US to speak to. And people like Pauline who can give you their own experience on investing with us. As well with the diaspora, the type of product matters. You may go with what you think they're interested in, but then we realize slowly that they are investors who want to keep a bit by a bit and then get into a big investment. So that was a challenge to us, to get them a regular investment plan, which we did. And then finally, client service. Because they are not here, they want to be sure when I call you, or at least contact you, you will get back to me. Time difference notwithstanding. And that's why we have a representative office in the US. And as well, we back up that representative office in the US here in Kenya. So 24 hours client service, being transparent is key. And of course, delivering to service. But I can't say it better than Pauline, who's a diaspora herself. Maybe she can tell us her experience as a diaspora and maybe as a Cytonn investor.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Pauline, and like Patricia has said, We met in Los Angeles, in California, some few years ago when they came on a road show. And we had the confidence, some of us, to invest in Cytonn. And we have had very good experiences. Number one is the returns that they promised. At that time, they had a product called Cash Management Solutions, CMS. I think it has changed
Which is
name.
now CHYS, yes?
Yes, it has changed name. And they have delivered as they promised. We get our returns. So we have had our confidence in that. And for the client service has been perfect. They have a representative in DC, Washington, Paul Moshiri, who responds to our questions whenever we have some. And not even Paul himself. We have Maurice. We bother Maurice so much with questions, and he's able to respond at any time, given the time difference. I keep asking Maurice whether he ever sleeps. He has his own answer, but we really appreciate the way he responds to the questions. So there is that fear out there, especially when we get this media information, the negativity. And I must say I'm very impressed with the team, and especially Mr. Dande. He's very calm, no hype, and that is very encouraging in terms of the way they respond to their, we don't know whether to call them competitors or opponents, whatever it is. We are very impressed in the way you respond. There is something we say, even God himself says, be still and see, how can I put, be still and see that I am God. So when you're still and you respond to your opponents in such a way, it's very important. It's a very strong tool also of, responding back, and that is very encouraging. But Patricia, allow me before I sit, I had a question for you.
Yes.
Or for the team. And that is, in the short term, there is that confidence because the team is headed by a very able people, Dante, Patricia, Elizabeth, and Shiv, and the rest. We have had a concern in the long run.
Yes.
Supposing Dante is not there, we assume he's maybe 30, in the next 55 years, he'll be 85. He'll not necessarily be the CEO. Supposing that happens, is there confidence that Cytonn will remain to be as strong as it is? It's beginning to be a concern because we see companies very strong in the beginning, the Nakumat, the Tuskies, then along the way at some point, it comes running down. So our concern right now is in the long term. Supposing there is no Dante, Patricia, Elizabeth, and Shiv, and the other team, and Maurice, are the foundations strong enough that Cytonn will survive in the long run? We are getting a little bit concerned because the team is too good. But what happens in the future?
Thank you, Pauline, and thank you for that challenge. We will answer that question. The final question in response to Jerry, in terms of offering you more than what we are doing, we have to play it safe. So we are offering what we are offering, and to the extent Cytonn Project Notes offers a bit higher than CHYS, that's Cytonn High Yield, formerly cash management. Beyond that, should you get someone offering you beyond what we are offering you, and not to belittle what they're doing because they are professionals in their own right, you need to be very clear about where they're getting those returns from and if they are sustainable. And for ourselves, we wouldn't want to go beyond what we are offering because we need the differential in between to pay for the costs of running those products. And anything above that, we will be taking unnecessary risk. Catherine will not let us sleep. So we have to play it at a place that is not, if you allow me to say the word, greedy, so that we don't become greedy and incentivize you to become greedy. And at the end of the day, the hyena that tried taking the two roads split in the middle. So let's not split in the middle. We'll take the final questions. Mr. Mbogwa.
Thank you, Patricia. My name is Paul Mbogwa. I'm an investor in CHYS. I'm also a new recruit IFA at Cytonn, targeting the diaspora, and especially US, where I went to school some time back, and Europe. I'm one of those people who we call the orphans of Britain when Edwin was there in the Patricia group. I didn't know them personally, but I came to realize I didn't need to be in Britain anymore. In fact, before Britain, I had been investing in NIC, NIC for those who have been in this investment high yield. We all know in the mid-90s, NIC used to pay us 30% interest on fixed deposit when the Moi government was paying treasury bill at 65, but we didn't trust the government, so I chose 30% of NIC as opposed to 65% of Mzee Moi. Anyway, that's a story for another day. Edwin, if you are a lawyer, every time I come here with questions, Edwin answers them before I ask, but the way he has presented the case of Britain, and if I was a judge, if Edwin had studied law and he was a lawyer, he would have passed on this case. But anyway, I'm here to comment. It's not really a question because I've been on CHYS for over 3 years. I have to commend the Cytonn staff. They're very efficient. The turnaround time on emails and WhatsApp are very good. I'm very happy with Cytonn, and I encourage those who are coming in, those who want to invest. Cytonn is a very good company, and I'm very, very happy. So I think we're moving in the right direction. I'm one of those people who are desiring not investing in properties, although that's my background, but it's a very good idea. It's a noble cause, and I think we'll support you as your clients. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mbugua. That's what I call preaching by the converted. But thank you. Final questions? We do want to make sure you do get a chance to see the show houses. Yes, the gentleman at the front.
Mine is not really. My name is Charles Gekundi. Mine is not really a question. I just want to congratulate you, especially on the choices of the sites that you want to develop. Very soon, Kiambu Road is going to be dual carriageway. I see that there are also plans to link the northern bypass with the western bypass, dualing of the eastern bypass. So these are good things that are going to happen in this area. You are choosing the right places at the right time. Personally, I only started investing in Cytonn only 3 months ago. Wow. Yesterday, I was very happy when I was told that my investment has matured and can I go and collect my earnings. I'm very happy about that. I am also an investor in Britain, by the way. They are pretty good. I am one of the people that believe in not keeping all your eggs in one basket. I have no problem with spreading here and there. I'm quite happy about that. At my age, I've seen a little bit. I am actually shy, twice shy, because I was once beaten. I lost money in various places, especially in Diners Finance, those years, and that happened when I was building. So you can ask me about trust. I think you are on the right side of the story. Oh, wow. Things are happening. The young people are coming up. They want units for their families. And my final request is that, are you going to give us some kind of discount if we pay for these units which are coming up now? Thank you.
In fact, he's asked one of the most important questions, which we shall end with in terms of discounts, and you are going to be blessed because you came today. So there is actually an offer running on the Ridge, and we'll allow someone to mention on that. I think those are the only questions. We can now close it at that. We are here for the whole day. We do want to make sure that you each get to see the show houses. So we'll close the question and answer at that, and I'll ask Edwin to come and divvy out the final questions.
The final round was really, seems more comments than questions, but there's a question that he asked in terms of, is there a discount? Shiv is in charge of real estate investments. He'll come and answer that. Paul, thanks for the comments and the support for many years. Pauline asked a very fundamental question about succession planning. There are many things we've done very well, but I have to admit that we need to do a much better job in terms of succession planning. That doesn't mean we are not doing it. As you can see, we used to have chief investment officer and real estate, head of real estate under one umbrella. Now Pankaj is the head of real estate. We are bringing in more people to beef up the firm. We just recently brought in Thomas Kisimbi to head our operations. So we are looking around for the next layer of leadership at Cytonn. Now, as long as we have these jobs, we will do it to the best of our ability. Personally, I always tell people that the day I meet someone who can do the CEO job better than I can do, that is when I start my transition, because we are not in this job because we want to be in them. We are in this job because fund management is very personal. It's just like medicine. Your doctor has to do everything they can to deliver your health care. We hold a lot of people's money. From CHYS and CPN, around 11 billion shillings. From Taleri, around 5 billion shillings. From Landowner, another 5 billion shillings. So we are talking about 20 to 21 billion of people's money. So we have to do everything we can. But when we then get the next layer of leadership, we then have to move on so that they can continue the good work. So Pauline, in terms of the things we've talked about, we are doing well in real estate, we are doing well in investment management. We could do a lot better job in terms of succession planning. I think when we meet for the AGM next year, whether it is the HYS AGM or the shareholder AGM, we'll have a more specific answer as to what is the succession plan, because a company that has 21 billion of people's money needs to have under its governance structures, this is exactly what the succession planning is. So we've fallen short there. We'll definitely do a better job in terms of succession planning.
In terms of the discount, thanks for asking. Actually, at the reception desk, I brought it up. There's quite a few of these going around. We are holding a activation or a discount offer for the units at the Ridge, primarily there because we were today unveiling the show house to our clients and investors. So if you reserve any time between 11th October to 23rd of November, you get a 5% discount on all units at the Ridge. So it is there for everyone, so please snap it up as much as possible. It's for all payment plans, cash plan, installment plan, or mortgage plan. So please speak to your financial advisor, or please email us at realestateresales.com, at cytonn.com, and we'll be able to extend that discount to you. So that discount is available for the Ridge.
Thanks, Shiv. So just to wrap this up, I want to thank everybody for the questions. As I said, we are here for the rest of the day. So just in case your question has not been answered, anyone with a Cytonn t-shirt, or you can register it at the desk, we'll be able to get back to you. Before we close, I'd like to invite one of our board members. Someone had asked about governance. We are very clear about governance and ethics, to the extent that most of our projects and business have different sets of boards. And today we have the chairman of the CES board, that's Cytonn Education Services. That's Dr. Edward Odundo. You may know him from his previous engagement with the pensions industry, so we are happy to have him today. We also have Mr. Magu there, who's one of our representative advisory board members in Nyeri. If you could just wave Mr. Magu. Thank you for coming. I'll ask Dr. Odundo to come and say something.
Good afternoon. You're told I deal with education. That's true. I'm also a lecturer at the University of Nairobi. I lecture in investment and also entrepreneurship and innovation management. And one thing that I always tell parents and some of you, please invest in your children. Don't invest for them. You see, the Cytonn team here, their parents invested in them. They didn't invest for them because you're basically the gatherers and they're the scatterers. That's what happens. You gather all these properties. At the end of the day, they come and scatter it if it is not properly planned. So plan for it. And most of the problem we have here in Kenya, people also don't write wills because they fear they're going to die tomorrow. Write your will. It's very necessary because you don't want all these issues we always hear about. It helps a lot. And this is some of the things that we lecture at the university. I have confidence in Cytonn. The challenges they have gone through are normal. People are going to go. Some of these challenges also help people learn and be able to know what to do next. And I believe, I was looking at the time, most of you must be preparing to go. So I think this is the best time to come to an end so that you can get time to go and see that project. I went, when we did the current project, there were issues about it. It's all gone, it's sold, and you can see now people want another project. And because when these projects are done and you move to the next one, it makes things much, much better. So what I want to do is to thank all of you for coming and take some time to go and see the project and follow what Cytonn is doing. Is that correct? But as I told you, please invest what did I say? Invest in them, Invest in your children. That's why you end up with these such smart teams. If the parents invested for them, they'll not be here to come up with these ideas. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Odundo. Now to wrap it up, I'll call Marvin Otieno, from the project management team to do the vote of thanks. But before he does that, again, I want to thank everybody who came. Thank you for the early birds. Thank you for being patient with us. We started a little late. We do want everybody to see the show house, and Marvin will let us know on the order of how we shall do that, just so that everybody can see it. Please extend your patience to us. We do want you to see the show houses. For those on the social media links from Facebook, we do have to end the session at this point, but we shall respond to your questions online. And I believe with that, we can then close this gathering with our word of prayer, and then we'll go into the vote of thanks. Let's pray. Thank you, Jesus, for this day. Thank you for letting us have this presentation. Thank you for our guests. We ask that you bless the rest of the day and the weekend that's ahead of us, even as we go into November and the rest of the year, that you may be our guide and our help. We thank you, we honor you, we bless you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I will start by giving a vote of thanks to our DICO team, Round Horn. Our sound has been provided by Expose, food by Divine Caterers. Thank you very much for your service. For the show house, first to clarify how we'll be getting into the houses, I can see we have quite a number of clients and guests. So just to guide us to get to the houses in an orderly manner, we have a team at the gate that will be guiding us through the houses. So there are 2 houses there. We'll have financial advisors within the house to take you through the house and show you what is being provided. Just to give you some clue on the houses, some of the finishes have been done for purposes of furnishing the house. So the financial advisors have a booklet that they'll guide you through. They'll show you what is being provided in the apartment unit and what has been done for purposes of furnishing the house for the open day. In terms of delivering the show house, I would really want to thank the Cytonn real estate team, especially the project management team that have taken us through the houses, through the procurement process. We thank the procurement team, the finance team, who have processed all our payments in time. I would also like to thank Aspera Design, who are the project architects. Aspera Design are the main works project architects, and they're also the same ones who have done the show house design. Aspera Design have also done the interior design for the show house, that's in terms of furnishing it. Thank you very much. The team is led by Paul Oburu, The next team that I would like to thank is Supreme Interiors. Those are the contractors, the subcontractors that we hired to do the show house. The main works project is under the main contractors, China Railway Jiangchang, CRJE. For the show house, we got a specialist of finishes, known as Supreme Interiors. We thank you very much. You have delivered the shows under a lot of pressure, but you have delivered eventually. For the main contractor was hosted as on site, because when we come to site, we are basically guests of the main contractor, because the site is handed over to the main contractor by the client, and the main contractor hands it back to the client on completion. I would like to thank CRJ for that opportunity they have given us to be hosted here. Lastly, I would like to thank the clients and the guests who have availed themselves here. We thank you very much for your time, and we hope you'll have a great day. If you have any question, always feel free to reach us. You can direct all questions in regard to real estate sales to resales@cytonn.com. Any matter that involves project management team, always copy PM at Cytonn. We're always there to guide you through. And then client service team is requesting that as you move to the shows, you can leave the name tags at the registration desk where you picked them. Yes, other than that, I would like to thank you and have a good day.
Sorry, a grave omission on my part. We did have some closing remarks from Edwin, and as well we'll have Dr. Odundo and Mr. Magu to cut the ribbon to the show houses, just so as they can usher us in. So maybe Dr. Odundo and Mr. Magu, if you could head over to that gate at the very end. Edwin, please have your closing remarks.
So as we prepare to cut the ribbon, Dr. Dundo, Magu, who are board members, behind there is also Madhav Bala, who is actually the chairman of this particular development. So Madhav, if you could also join them in the ribbon cutting. For me, I just wanted to make sure that we share the responsibility of building the brand and protecting investment. So as we leave, I just wanted to make sure that we have a collective responsibility, because whatever you are building, whether it's a country, a family, a relationship, a brand, it's always difficult. You are trying to build the Alma on one point, people are saying it's crumbling. You are trying to get investments on one point, people are saying these people have fraud cases. It's a difficult economy. It's a hostile environment, but let's not forget that the fundamentals are still very rosy. We live in a country that people want to invest in. It happens that this week Richard Quest is in the country highlighting, Richard Quest of CNN, highlighting the investment opportunities here in Kenya. We have some of the best wildlife, Masai Mara, all the parks where people come to actually spend time. We have very good beaches, Diani, where people come spend time. We have the leading brand in marathon and sports in Kenya. We have the leading brand in mobile money. This week, I think it's actually tomorrow, we have the first direct flight into the financial capital of the world, in New York. How many African countries have a direct flight? This is something that has taken 10 years to get there. The brand recognition of the country actually took to another level with a brand like Obama having heritage back in Kenya. So what holds us back tends to be our own self. You look at this country, we need Britam. It has the best insurance product, the best distribution that we've ever had. We need Cytonn. We have the broadest set of real estate that has ever been built in this particular country. So what can you do as an individual rather than just being a client, asking us questions, putting us to task, which you must do. But what we would ask is understand the business model, help us explain it. Some of the distractors that we have, they live in this country. You must have a relationship who knows them. Reach out and ask, yes, now I have this piece of information. What can we do to resolve this particular issue? And most importantly, get as referrals, because we need more funds. As Steve mentioned, your cash levels are thin, because every single coin we get, we need to put into this development. So we are deeply committed to delivering to you. We also ask that you take participation, not just passive, but actively also try and explain, because what we are doing has never been done, and people who've experienced it can tell the word and explain it better than we can, because people will believe you more than they believe us, because you come as a client as opposed to those of us who come as those who are selling the brand. Yes, we are all clients of the firm. I'm invested personally, but when I speak about the brand, people will see the CEO speaking rather than the investor. We would really want our investors to speak and explain the brand, so tell us what we need to do so that you also help us explain the brand. Asanteni sana. I will now hand it over so that we move to the show house.
Mine is just to say thank you once again. Thank you for coming. God bless you and your families. So the show houses are on that side. As Marvin said, just because of the numbers, we'll take 10 people at a go. There are 2 show houses ready. 5 will go to one show house and 5 to the other show house. But right now, Mother Bala, Dr. Odundo, and Mr. Magu are then cutting the ribbon, so that they're at the back of the tent. They're cutting the ribbon so that they can officially open the show house's reveal. Thank you very much. Let's be patient. We'll all get a chance to see the show house. Have a good day. God bless you.